visit swiftfp.com and click the login button toward the end of the menu bar. Put in your username, password, and firm name. Below, you'll see a verification code, usually with numbers and letters you must enter before gaining access to your account. Now that we're logged in, we're going to go over how to prepare a return. There are two different methods of entry. There's the direct entry mode. Typically, you want to use this once you're a little bit more familiar with the different schedules comprising the tax return. For some of the beginners and even seasoned pros, we also have the interview mode. For training purposes, I will show the steps suggested so we can quickly and efficiently access interview mode. I like the interview method because it allows preparers to not only be prompted for questions, but as you're going along, it's a great learning tool. So let's get started by focusing our attention on the left side towards our toolbar. Depending on your administrative abilities, you may have more or less showing here, but this is your toolbar. Let's go to the Client Manager. We're going to start a new return. Begin entering the Social Security number of the client. We'll then re-enter the Social Security number to confirm that we have the correct number. By default, it's set to prepare a 1040 return. Choose Save and Continue. Once it's done processing, you're going to come to a screen that might look a little intimidating at first, but remember, it's all simple data entry. Let's get started. This is where we'll enter first and last names, date of birth, month, day, and year. We're going to add an occupation. For this purpose and this exercise, the taxpayer does not have an identity theft PIN. However, if you have a client who is experiencing or has experienced identity theft in the past, make sure they give you a PIN. You would enter it here. Without it, the return will not be accepted when transmitted and the modern e-file system will automatically reject it. Next, you want to ask the taxpayer the following questions if the primary taxpayer is disabled, blind, hopefully not deceased, or a student. If so, you will allot the months. Are they a surviving spouse? Are they in the U.S. Armed Forces? Or could they possibly be a qualifying child of another person for EIC, especially with students? Was their main home in the United States for more than half of the year? You'll also want to ask if the primary taxpayer received a Form 1095-A, Health Insurance Marketplace Statement. If they received a Form 1095-B or 1095-C, it is not required to enter for the year. So for this tutorial, we're going to say the taxpayer has their own insurance and didn't purchase it through the marketplace. This means the answer is no, they didn't receive a 1095-A. Next, choose the filing status. In this example, the taxpayer will be single. They are going to live at an address that I will enter here. City, state, and zip code next. And as you see, so far it's just simple data entry. Make sure you ask for names, telephone numbers, and email addresses. The email address and telephone numbers are not only for the purpose of the software, but for marketing. So you want to gather as much contact information as possible to keep up with your clients moving forward into the next year. Enter 2 phone numbers. A good question you may have is, what if my client doesn't have 2 telephone numbers? A lot of us only have 1 cell phone. As long as you get the initial primary number, that is okay. Just remember when using bank products, most required taxpayers have 2 numbers on file for compliance purposes. Moving forward, we'll enter the resident state and city. Check the box only if you do not want to auto-generate additional state entries based on the federal return. Then you'll answer yes if you live or make money in any other states. For this example, let's say the taxpayer wants to receive a check. They decided not to have this return put in their bank account. So I'm going to save and continue. However, if they did want to have a direct deposit, you can enter this information here by selecting checking or saving and making sure routing and account number are both correct. Again, if you have a client who is using a prepaid card, such as a NetSpin or a Rush card, make sure, and I emphasize, make sure that they are giving you the routing and account number. Not to be confused with the 16 digits on the front of the card. If they insist that the number on the card is it, disclose to them that you are not liable for any mix-up if they're not giving you the correct information. Let's save and continue. Processing times will vary depending on your internet coverage. Again, you'll see that we're on the same screen, but don't panic. Scroll up and click Complete. You'll see a little box appear. Let's answer the question to move forward. Are we ready to mark this return as completed? No. Are we ready to mark the return as reviewed? No. Are we filing this return as a paper return or an electronically filed return? We are filing electronically, but right now we just want to save and redirect to managing our return so that we can go into the interview mode. Click Save and Redirect. We've now returned to the Manage Return screen. Let's familiarize ourselves with the screen because you will see it a lot. Starting from left to right, use the Edit button to enter and edit the return. View and print the return or save it to a PDF. View the inputs that you have just in case there are some discrepancies you may want to review. Labels to print letter templates for your clients' appointments if you decide to. Schedule appointments within the system. Now that we have them loaded here, personal details, address details, the income summary is not there yet, but we'll review that in later videos. For now, let's go in and edit. First, you're prompted with information about direct and interview input messaging. Save and continue. As it loads, if you have a client in front of you, this is a great time to fill some of the silent gaps by connecting or reconnecting with your clients. Asking them about their day or past tax preparation experiences. Back on the client information screen, you can confirm your client's information as you scroll down. Once we confirm that's all correct, we will save and continue. You are now ready to go into the return from here. Be sure you're taking time to read all screens while you're entering information throughout the data entry process and client interview intake portions to successfully complete the return. SFP Works. It does more, it costs less, it's that simple.